Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to set up a very simple A/B test on your landing pages so that you can test like which elements of your page are actually effectively increasing your number of email signups. So on this page here, it's just a very basic email capture. It just has a name and the email address, and they click submit, and then it sends them some free training videos. And so if I want to test an element, for example, the picture or maybe the headline at the top, if I want to test it and see what increases conversions over time, then I want to split test those variables into two. And you could do this very simply with something like ConvertKit, and in this case, ClickFunnels. So the very first thing you want to do is you want to navigate over to ConvertKit, and under the landing pages and forms tab, open that up. And then we're going to click over here on the right side. We're going to create new. And in this case, we're going to create a form, and this will be an inline form. So click that. And at this stage, it doesn't really matter which one you choose. I personally like the more simplistic one, which is the Claire. So I'm going to choose that one. And then once you get to this screen, in my case, I'm just going to have email address and first name. So let me do that really quickly over here. Custom field, first name. So we got first name, email address. I'm going to change the button to say, yes, send me the videos. You can change that to whatever you want. And then once we have this basic form in place, we're going to hit publish. And that'll give us the option to copy the HTML. So you're going to copy the HTML, and you're going to go back to ClickFunnels. And then you're going to edit the page. And I want my form to be right underneath this little bit of copy right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new element, and in this case it will be just code. Or wait, where is it? JavaScript. There it is. Custom JavaScript and HTML. So you're going to get this box here. Click on it. Open the code editor, and then just paste that HTML from ConvertKit into there, and then you can just X out of that box. Now that code is in there, and when I hit save, the form will appear. Now back on ConvertKit, I'm actually going to rename this Claire form. I'm going to name it something similar to the actual page itself. In this case, it's a 3-day training. So I'm going to call this 3-day version A, because we're going to have a version A, we're going to have a version B. So I'm going to hit save on this, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to create a copy, an exact copy of this to make version B. So back here on the landing pages and forms page, I'm going to just duplicate this. And that will create copy of version A. I'm just going to quickly rename this 3-day version B. And for some reason it didn't copy the text correctly, maybe because I didn't save it. Hold on one second. Okay, here's the correct copy. It has first name, email address. I'm just going to rename this 3-day version B. And this time make sure you hit save, because I forgot to do that the last time when I made version A. But you hit save, and then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to hit publish, and you're going to grab this HTML code, hit copy here, and then you're going to go back to ClickFunnels, and let's save this. All right, so back on this main funnel page, what we're going to do is we're going to create a variation. And we're going to create a duplicate from this opt-in. And so now what that has done is it's created an exact duplicate over here. This is the version I'm going to call version B. And currently 100% of the traffic, according to this slider, is going to the main version. So I'm going to make this 50-50. And then I'm going to edit this page and just change just the code for that form. All right, and that's a very simple process. We just click this custom JavaScript HTML, open the code editor again. I'm going to select all, delete it, and I'm going to paste in the code for the B form. And then I'm going to hit the X, and then I'm going to hit save. Okay, so now I forgot to save this. I'm going to drag this slider bar back so it says 50% of the traffic is going to this one, 50% is going to this one, and this time I'm actually going to apply the changes. So now these two pages are exactly identical. Exactly identical. So if anybody clicks in on this domain name, 50% of them are going to go to A, 50% are going to go to B. So now you can conduct a pretty accurate, a pretty reliable split test. If I change one element of the B page, which in this case I'm probably going to change the picture because that's one of the That's one of the most impactful things you can do to measure, how it affects conversion rates. So I'm going to change just that one element. And when I change it, I can come back to ConvertKit and navigate back to the landing pages page. And so if you look here, I've got version A, version B. And so because they're separate codes, they're measuring the number of visitors that come in and the number of people that subscribe. And so if I change that one element on that B version of the landing page, I can actually measure how that affects the number of subscribers. So very common thing that people will do is they'll A/B test headlines, or they'll A/B test the images, or sometimes the copy above the form. And so you only want to change one element at a time, run some traffic to it, see how it does, and then you can change a second element. But that's how you set it up. Very simple to do. Now you might wonder, how much traffic should you send to this page before you make a conclusion on A or B? Personally, I like to see at least 1,000 visitors total, so 500 for each, for the A version and the B version. If you don't have that much traffic, then you could try to get away with less than 1,000, but the more data you have, the better. So I personally aim for 1,000 just so I can make a good decision about which one performs better. Sometimes you'll do a A/B test and you won't see anything super conclusive. Like your conversion rates on A might be 30% and then B might be 29%. It's hard to, in that case it's kind of not conclusive. So at the end of that test, I would just assume that it's negligible. The results are negligible, and I would go and change some other big element. But that's how you set it up. It's very simple. You can A/B test stuff like this, and use the data that you get to try to improve your conversion rates. Just so you know, a typical conversion rate for some kind of email opt-in page is usually around 15%. So the bar is low. The standard is about 15%. So if you can get a conversion rate of 25, 35 plus, then you're doing very well. The highest I've ever personally gotten a conversion rate for just an opt-in was probably around 65%, but I have seen even higher than that. So this gives you a nice basis so you can start testing stuff. And other than that, if you have any questions, just leave them below. Thanks for watching.